Okay, we're going to do our notes a little bit different this time, and hopefully it'll be a little bit neater for you to put into your notes. Okay, so first, what I want you to do is to skip one side of a page after the notes we took for 1.3. So the last thing that you should have done was the assumptions. Then skip one side of a page and then move on to the next. So this next section, we're going to do beginning proofs. So look here, everything's already written out, and we're going to fill in some stuff. So this is beginning proofs. Our essential question is, how do I write 2-column proofs? And you are writing this in Cornell Notes. So 2-column proofs, we've already done some. The ones where we were putting the statements on one side and then the reasons. We did them with the algebraic proofs, where one side we were solving the problem, and then the other side we were stating, oh, this was subtraction, division, multiplication, whatever we did. But this time we're going to use theorems, definitions, and other things in order to prove for our reasons. So a theorem is a mathematical statement that can be proved. So first, these are how we use theorems in our class. And you don't have to write these 4 things down, but just so you know. We present theorems, so I'm going to tell you what theorems are, and we prove those theorems. Most of the theorems that we prove are going to be in the videos. We use those theorems to solve problems, and then you can use these theorems that we solve in these videos to solve problems on your homework. So the more theorems that you know off the top of your head, then the better you'll be at solving these proofs. And if you need to pause this, you can. But as I said, this section right here, this section right here, you don't have to write if you don't want to. Okay, now to our first proof. We're going to do 2 proofs. So our first theorem is if 2 angles are, let me rewrite that. So we have if 2 angles are right triangles. I have to find my pen. If 2 angles are right angles, then they are congruent. So we need to figure out why this is true. So we're given angle A is a right angle. We know that angle B is a right angle. We need to prove that A is congruent to B. Now here you can see that we don't have the little square for the right angles, but if in the given it says it's a right angle, then we can go ahead and assume that. That's fine. So our given, so the first thing that we're going to use is our given, our first given. So we know that angle A is a right angle. And the reason? Because it's given. So I know that if angle A is a right angle, then that means the measure of angle A is equal to 90 degrees. And how do we know this? This is just by the definition of a right angle. So our reason is by the definition of a right angle. So, but we also know that angle B is a right angle. How do we know this? It's also given to us as well. B is a right angle. So for our reason, it can be given as well. So right now we have 3 statements and 3 reasons. So same as the measure of angle A, we know that the measure of angle B, since it's right, is also going to be 90 degrees. And same reason, definition of a right triangle. And last, our 5th well, our fifth statement. So, since we know that angle A is equal to 90 degrees, angle B is equal to 90 degrees, you can say that angle A is congruent to angle B. And our last reason, well, if two angles have the same measure, then they're congruent. So, two angles have the same measure, then they are congruent. So see steps 2 and 4. They're both equal 90, so they're both congruent. Now that's probably a pretty easy proof, and they will get harder as we get more theorems. Okay, now moving on to our second theorem. If two angles are straight angles, then they are congruent. And as I said, you might have to stop the video right here while you write, which is fine. So, if I'm given angle ABC is a straight angle, so this first picture is ABC, and DEF is a straight angle, I need to prove that ABC is equal to DEF. And this proof is very similar to the first one. So we're going to start off. So we know that ABC is a straight angle. Well, there's not an A in that straight. And reason, because it's given. So we know that the measure of a straight angle from chapter 1.1, or 1.2, sorry, is equal to 180 degrees. Why? The definition of a straight angle. Number 3. We are also given that angle DEF is a straight angle. And this also is given. Just like the measure of angle ABC, angle DEF also equals to 180 degrees because it's a straight angle. And same as number 2, that is just a definition of a straight angle. Oh gosh, I don't know why I keep taking off A from straight. So, since angle ABC is equal to 90, and angles angles ABC is equal to 180, and angle DEF is also equal to 180, we can say that angle ABC is congruent to angle DEF. And then why? So two angles that have the same measure are congruent. Okay, so this is just a sample of 2 theorems, and we will do some more in class, but that's the end of this video, and I will see you Friday or Thursday. Remember to do your project. So your project is due Thursday.